We are talking about Mike McCarthy maybe interviewing with the Chicago Bears. I'm just waiting for Todd Archer. I'm waiting for Todd Archer, who joined us 24 hours ago, to come out with the Cowboys' decision of letting him go or not, letting him go to Chicago to talk with the Bears. The Bears fans right now do not want Big Mike. According to a Chicago Sports Talk radio poll, 9,000 Bears fans have voted. It's about 80-20 no. No, thank you. Let's get to Jane Slater's report yesterday. Or do you want to take this away since you work closely with Jane on TV and talk to her on the phone?
Sure. Yeah. No, I can take this one. So this was yesterday, Jane. I was watching the Insiders, and Jane was up there reporting about where things stand with Mike and different things like that. It led to a discussion that I don't think we've gone down yet, that we haven't gone down this road yet, which we've heard feedback from players who want Mike to return, who have said it's got to be on his terms. So Jane was trying to figure out, all right, what does that mean?
Yeah. And my person who has been deadly accurate with all the stuff throughout the season told me Mike wants more control. But none of us know what that means.
Right. It's very vague. And it's something that hasn't been established. It's like, well, you're calling plays. What's more control?
Yeah. And you have more personnel control and input here than you had in Green Bay.
Yeah, so it's like...
I would think so. I mean, they didn't draft an offensive player for Rodgers in like 2 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's something where what does more control look like, or what does his way look like when Dak had said it earlier in the year, and how it's been hinted at by other people, like, okay, this is clearly something that Mike's provided feedback for. So Jane said that after talking to a player that she had gathered the information that Mike wants more control is related to
gather the info.
Exactly, gathering the info. Stuff related to weight training, the weight program, the rehab program, different issues like that, talking about how guys rehab their injuries, which we've had different things pop up recently of, did Terrence Steele come back as quick as he should have? Did Michael Gallup come back as quick as he should have?
And did the Cowboys get a really bad grade in that athletic breakdown survey?
Yeah. Yes.
Of what was that?
It was an NFL, I mean, maybe the athletic one too, but the NFLPA survey of all the players of just, hey, what are your facilities like, your weight program, everything else. The weight stuff got damn near the bottom of the league. And so it's interesting. I've never heard a head coach who wants to be so hands-on potentially with the strength and the rehab program.
Have you heard that before, Jane, yesterday?
No. I have not heard that as a thing that Mike was interested in. I've not heard of many coaches, period, who want to be that hands-on with the weight program. That's why you have strength coaches usually and rehab coaches, unless he's just saying, I want my own guys in here.
Training room got a C-, training staff a D+, strength coach is a B+, head coach got an A, owner got a B, team travel is C-. Weight room an A. Weight room's got to be an A. It's brand new.
So Jane talked to a player and said Mike would need extra help in the weight and training room. More help. I mean, like more bodies, quote. Most places got so many hands on deck to cater to guys. Britt Brown is awesome and cares a lot, but he only has a couple of guys to help. Same with Harold Nash. He has the respect and love of the locker room, but having another person or two to focus solely on recovery and managing so players will feel more taken care of and the staff can focus on building the performance program more. The player adds it will cost more money to add people, but he sees value in that.
Only 2 teams got a worse training staff grade in the league. Cowboys got a D+. Chiefs and Commanders both got an F. That's it. Nobody else. Nobody else got... But the Chiefs, this just show you it doesn't matter. It's all about Mahomes.
Their
everything.
Facility.
Team travel, D. Training staff, F. Training room, D. Locker room, F. Nutritionist, F. Treatment of families, D+.
Wow.
Like, it doesn't matter.
This is a weird thing, though. When I hear a coach wants more control, I don't think weight room.
No, I don't either.
I think personnel or game, control.
Or to be, it very well could be that.
And this could be one of 5 things that people are talking about.
And it could be just this player's perspective on it. It's not even something that Mike has said they would like. That just may be the player's idea of what it would look like to have Mike back and be. But here's the thing. How much have we heard frequently over the 5 years that Mike's been here that Mike raises as a priority managing practice schedules, and we know about the GPS and everything else, where he's trying to make sure guys' bodies are preserved and fresh. So that's clearly been something that he's publicly talked about. It's something that players have given him praise for behind the scenes and publicly of just, he protects our bodies. He makes sure we're at our healthiest at the end of the year. So if that's a big part of what you want and what your program is built on, then yeah, if you feel like we haven't been getting enough in the rehab or in the strength program, these things haven't, I can only do so much with the way I stagger their practice schedules. I need one of my guys in here to do this or that. That very well could be part of a pitch to Jerry that says this is the type of control I want.
Calvin Watkins with his Tolo Flash chilling the other night. Shout out Calvin. Tweeted that DeMarvion Overshone said his recovery is 9 months, and when asked when he will return from knee surgery, said, I'll be back playing football for sure in 2025, and it won't be in December. It will be before that. So that's Overshone.
I love the mindset. I'll believe it when I see it. That was a devastating knee injury, and it's the second one that he's had. And so it's something where Aaron Rodgers can say, I plan on being back in 3-4 months for my Achilles tear. The reality is like, okay, yeah, it's a year though, dude.
Chop, what does history teach us about changing coaches?
Well, at least since 2020, not the greatest thing in the world. So if you go back and look at the recent trends, last year there were 7 coaching changes. All right, 7. 7. You had Callahan for Vrabel. You had Canales to Carolina for about 17 different people that they had hired. Raheem for Arthur Smith, Harbs for Staley, Mayo for Bill, Quinn for Rivera, McDonald for Carroll. 2 teams definitely improved. Can't even argue about it, right? Harbs in L.A. and Quinn in L.A. and in Washington. All right, absolutely improved. Canales done a nice job. I think they can do. He's fine. I think
their number one goal for the season was realized.
Yes,
they figured out Bryce.
Yes, so
yeah, they salvaged Bryce. That's a big win. For
absolutely
them.
Did. The rest of them, you're looking at the teams who are basically the same or worse. So you're 2 on the good, 4 on the bad, and then 1 with Canales. It's still up in the air, but I think they realized their goal.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do. I do think Atlanta was better. I know record-wise it was pretty close. I think Atlanta was better, and they've just got they were in a tough position with the way Kirk was playing.
2023 was much better. Yeah, D'Amico Ryans and Sean Payton, they were tremendous upgrades. Gannon and Steichen, I mean, the jury's still kind of out on them.
Steichen for sure. Gannon, I think, is getting a lot of credit for he's putting something together in Arizona that people trust. And when that list came out that we read a couple weeks back, the SI list of the top coaching candidates, who's next, who are the guys on staff that could be future head coaches, and they list like 111 names. No team in the NFL had more than Arizona. And so Gannon has built a staff of young coaches too that people look at as like, oh, these guys are next up. He's building something there that's been effective. It's really hard to win in Arizona with the Bidwell family. That is a tough ownership group to win with.
2022 is a weird one. O'Connell's fantastic, but it's not like Zimmer was a train wreck. Right? So they upgraded, but like they were still good. Mike McDaniel is an upgrade, but he's on the hot seat, even though he is going to come back.
Yep.
Doug Peterson for Urban. Urban was a trader, so he was technically an upgrade, but they just fired him. So you can't say that's a win.
First losing season, and he's out.
Dayball is the same. Dayball is a disaster. And is Bowles better than Arians? I mean, they want to run him out, it seems like, every other year, too.
It's a little tough with the Bowles for Arians one because Arians was getting near retirement age. They'd won a Super Bowl. But, I mean, I think Bowles has been a good head coach. I think people would generally say he's gotten a lot out of Tampa.
So you clearly have 2 that were upgrades with Daniel and O'Connell. I mean, can we call Peterson? He's an upgrade, but it didn't work.
No.
Dayball hasn't worked. Bowles is the same. 2021, Dan Campbell, obviously. Sirianni for Peterson. That was it. Those are just those 2. And I think they're both, I mean, Philly's not necessarily happy with Sirianni.
No,
right?
they're both success.
But they're successes. 2020, Stefanski and McCarthy. And they, I mean, look, they both might come back. They both might be gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't really know.
Cleveland's supposed to be bringing them back.
So since 2020, you had 21 coaching changes. You've got Campbell, Harbaugh, Quinn, D'Amico, Sean Payton, McDaniel, and O'Connell, clearly upgrades. And then you get 7. Then you can add Stefanski and McCarthy, right? To make
As
it
what?
Well, were they upgrades over the previous?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so 7 of the 21.
I mean, Mike's a regular season win upgrade, but
Yeah.
they haven't advanced.
So, and the rest are either the same or failures. So, like, if you change coaches, and look, the 7 that hit, I mean, they hit. They hit big time.
Yeah, and a lot
hit
of people
big time.
a lot of people would probably argue, well, those rosters got better or those teams got better. How much of that is just those coaches happen to be there as that ascent occurred?
What I would also say is I don't know if any of the teams on this list going back 4 years was as good as the Cowboys in terms of success.
It's true.
Like Atlanta, the Chargers here and there. Like, no, this job.
Minnesota was generally pretty good.
Yeah. But I think the Cowboys are in a better off spot than any of these teams. I don't remember what Philly was when Sirianni took over. But the Cowboys are a better job than all of these.
Who
Not a better job, but have had a lot more success in a lot of these rebuilds.
I know. I think it's a good point because if you think about over the last decade, how many scenarios are like Dallas where somebody was clearly brought in to push you over the top? And I'm having trouble coming up with coaching situations where somebody was hired as, we're stuck, we're good, but we're stuck and we need to get better.
The Eagles were, in the 3 years prior, 9-7, 9-7, and then 4-11-1.
Look, you have to have conviction, and all this boils down to the same thing for me. I can make if I put enough. My wife gets on me about this all the time. You overthink, and my God, when are you going to make a decision? Here's the way I go about life. I'm going to probably overthink something, but if the decision goes wrong, I'm going to be okay with it knowing I could not have put more research and time and investment into making the decision. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Not everything is going to go right. I know, this is just me talking, I know that these Dallas Cowboys can't win the Super Bowl. I know that. That's what I personally believe. That's Shan Sharif, all right? So I have to change it. If my change is a regression and a decline, I'm okay with it because at best, I'm 12-5, second round playoffs. Best case. That's as high as I can go in life. 12-5, Dak's second MVP, second round. That, maybe this is news to Jerry and Steven, that's not good enough. It's not supposed to be good enough around here. That's how I make my decision on this. I have to change. Because in best case, health, Dak play, everything else, Dan Quinn, turnovers, defense, historic from Diggs and Bland years, return for touchdowns, all that stuff. I'm still 12-5, second round ceiling. That's still 2 rounds away from where I need to be as the Dallas Cowboys. So I have to change. That's it. That's my thought process.
I mean, look, I do believe that if you change and you get worse, like you said, it's okay. It's okay because, your reward for that is a high pick. And unfortunately this year, you could have a 10-loss season and not be picking in the top 10 like the Cowboys. They had a 10-loss season. They're not even in the top 10.
I'm sitting here and I'm trying to come up with similar circumstances. I've come up with one in my head as I'm sitting here scanning it. It was the Seahawks firing Carroll last year, where they went, we've kind of gotten stuck being a decent team that's not going further than this, and we've got to shake something up. And they missed the playoffs. They didn't end up going to the playoffs this year with Mike McCarthy. They were 10-win team. They were 10-7. But that's the only other instance. This is
Chargers too. Chargers are we're middling. We could make the playoffs barely. We miss it a lot. We need an over-the-top piece to get us in. That we're going to be a perennial playoff team. And that's what Harbaugh did for them. In retrospect, not hiring Harbaugh here was the biggest mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Last year?
Last year. That was the biggest mistake. Not even, you want to say Sean Payton, maybe Sean Payton, but Jim Harbaugh was the answer. Bobby was all up on it. I think I got a little bit too afraid of the way that Jim's relationships blew up everywhere he's been. But you want a mix of the culture and a winner and a guy who still's a player's coach, it seems like. That was it. That was the big mistake in not getting Harbaugh, in my opinion. And you can make the same case for Sean Payton as well. Sean Payton can be really unlikable, You would have had to give up compensation for him. But Harbaugh, to me, is a big, humongous miss.
And I don't, and I know Jerry said it doesn't impact the decision this time around, but do you even feel like you have that boom or bust person sitting out there now? Vrabel, maybe?
Maybe Vrabel.
Vrabel would be the only one that kind of checks that box, I feel like. Unless you're going to go, I'm going to hire a guy with no experience.
Let me give a hot take. Because I do believe that the lack of fan interest and the apathy, I believe that is somewhere in Jerry's brain. The Tyreek Hill topic, I don't even want to say possibility because it's the Joneses, right? Many fans just laugh. They're not going to get Tyreek Hill and pay Tyreek Hill. I don't think. But that would check the box for me of excitement. If they move on from Mike, I look for some quick left hook out of nowhere replacement name that reignites the fan base. Someone like Gruden. That's going to be a hot take of mine. They let Mike go to Chicago. We're moving on. Mike Vrabel's the hire. John Gruden's the hire. Quick. Like something quick happens that Jerry has been working on behind the scenes.
Gonna have to move quick on Vrabel, as we just got news the Bears are also interviewing Vrabel. So that's Bears, Saints, Jets, and Patriots that all want to talk to him.